Folks, here we go. So accessor methods, also called getter methods, are void methods which return, are non-void methods, which return status information back to the caller. They don't make changes to an object. So you know how we say private string, first name, private string, last name? So if you wanted to have a way to get the first name and last name, you would need to have a method called getName, and it sends the name back. Or get first name, or change name. Well, no, change name would be the next section. So they don't make any changes though. And accessor method returns one piece of information. The return call ends the method code execution.
Now, when you by one piece of information, do you mean one small thing, or
It could be a big thing, but it's just one thing. Like when we say public string toString, that's a accessor method. It sends back a printable version of the object. Yeah.
So you could do an if-else statement in.
Yeah. You can have an if. You can have conditional things that return this or return that. But if, like example, public boolean blah 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 is going to return true or false. It can't return true and then also give you the last name of somebody. It's just going to give you one thing. Okay. So one example, the toString method. One more thing before we talk about the examples. Think access when you hear accessor. So that's what we're talking about. We're accessing the information. We're getting access to it. That's why, you shouldn't be confused by this. It's not going to change anything. You're getting a hold of it. Otherwise, you don't know what the information is if you're standing on the outside. So toString is an interesting method. Every object in Java has a built-in toString method, which returns the object name, the class name, and the memory location. It's not very useful. So when we write a toString method, we're overriding the built-in method with one that gives more helpful information. So I'm going to give you an example of this. But I'm saying every object, everything we create, so even our custom ones, when we go ahead and do a book or a student or a frog, if you say print, it'll go ahead and get the toString method out of up above in Java, and it'll say frog at, and it'll give a memory location. But we do a toString method so we can have our things print more helpful information. And I'll show you this in just a second. Can I switch screens? I'm going to open up fraction that we wrote last time on the half sheet. So here's public class fraction, private int numerator, private int denominator. Here's public fraction where it creates a new fraction. This is an accessor method. Public double get double. It sends back a double version of the fraction. And then this is an accessor method, public string toString. What I wanted to do is just disable the toString for a minute, so you can see what I'm talking about what it looks like when we have when we don't have a regular toString. So give me a sec. All right, so if I say fraction f equals new fraction 1 comma 3, system.out.println f. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it worked. So look what it printed out. Fraction at 1 dB 9742. I bet if I ran it again, it would be in a different location. I'm not positive. No, same location. Anyway, this is the memory location. Like, it's meaningless to us. We're not going to learn how to work with memory locations in this class, and you don't have to. This is what happens when you have a class that doesn't have a toString that you wrote. This is the built-in toString. So if we go back to fraction here and uncomment out the toString, this is an accessor method that returns a more helpful version of things. So if I go back here and run it, this time we'll get I don't think it ran. Oh, it's in the wrong folder. Desktop. I don't think it recompiled fraction. Let's try again. Yeah, there we go. So here's our prettier version of the fraction. That's this toString. And here it returns the numerator divided by the denominator. Anyway, that's just an example of an accessor method. So is this one here, the one public double, get double? Or we could have one called get numerator, get denominator. I think, yeah, that's it for that. So